Hello everyone. As we have begun with the tenses series and future tenses to be particular in this series, let me tell you about a very uncommonly used tense today, and that is future perfect tense. Today we are going to first see the concept of this tense because it's a little difficult, a little uncommon, and that is why people do not use it more often. But today let's learn how to form this tense, when to use this tense, and what points to remember when we are using this tense. So let's start with the session today of future perfect tense. Future perfect is used for those actions which are expected to be completed by a certain point in future, which means you have to give two things here. One is the future time reference, and second is the action which should be completed by that time. Look at this timeline. Let's say in future, I am giving an end time, and till this end time, an action should have been completed. So, like and since we give the starting point of time, here we have to give the end time. So we generally use references like by this time, before this time, at this time, and things like that, which can tell us that that becomes the end point of time, and before that the action should be completed. Let's look at an example here. By 5 o'clock, you will have reached the airport. Now, what am I giving here? First thing is the end time reference, that is this time. And then I'm giving an action. And what is my action here? Will have reached the airport. So if I take the same example on the timeline, I can explain it in this way. Starting from now, you move ahead in future, but by the end of this particular time, this action should have been completed. Now, it's a little difficult tense, I understand that, but the format of this tense is not very difficult. It is the same as past perfect or present perfect, which we have already done. Let's look at the format in positive, negative, and interrogative sentences right now. Let's look at the formation of this tense. The first thing that we always take is the subjects. But like we have subjects as singular or plural category, in future tenses we take it as first person, second person, or third person. So in future tenses, I or we are considered as the first person subjects, you is considered as the second person subject, and they, he, she, it, or anyone's name is considered as the third. So the first person is always a separate category while the others are a separate category. Now, let's start with the first person subject, which has I and we. Now, with I or we, you can either use shall or use will depending on the situation. But the very common thing that is used in all the perfect tenses, whether it's past or present or future, is the auxiliary verb have and V3 form of the verb. This combination will always exist in all perfect tenses. V3 form is also called as the past participle form. Let's take the verb sing today. What are the three forms of sing? Sing, sang, sung. So if I have to take V3 form, I will take the verb form sung. So now let's make sentences with this. I shall have sung, or we will have sung. Right? Now let's come to the next set of subjects, and we have you. Now with the second set of subjects, we will always use will and the auxiliary verb have and V3, just like above. So let's start making sentences here. You will have sung, they will have sung, he will have sung, she will have sung, it will have sung, or anyone's name like Manisha will have sung, Mayank will have sung. Coming to the negative category, we just have to add not, and that's very simple. But this not should be between the modal auxiliary verb and the other auxiliary verb have, right? So in both the cases, in both the categories of subjects, we will have not and make negative sentences. So let's start. I shall not have, what's the verb that we're going to take here? Sung, right? We will not have sung. Now let's come to the second category of subjects, and we'll have you will not have sung. They will not have sung. He will not have sung. She will not have sung. It will not have sung. Manisha will not have sung. Mayank will not have sung. Next comes the interrogative category. So like I always tell you that in interrogatives, we will always take the auxiliary verbs first. So in future tenses, we take the modal auxiliary verbs like shall or will at the beginning of the sentence. Then comes your subjects. Then not if you're making a negative interrogative. And then we'll have and V3 form of the verb. So let's start making the sentences. Shall I have sung? Now because this is an interrogative sentence, we must not forget to put a question mark. Next, shall we not have sung? Now I had told you this concept in my last future continuous video also, that whenever we are making interrogative sentences with the first person, in that case we will not use the word will like we have used here and here. But for interrogative, we'll use only shall and not will. Coming to the next category of subjects, let's start with the auxiliary verb will and then the subjects. So let's start. Will you not have sung? And a question mark after it. Next, will they have sung? Will he not have sung? Will she have sung? Will it not have sung? Will Manisha not have sung? Will Mayank have sung? After looking at all these formations, let's look at when to use this uncommon tense. Now let's look at some of the usages of this tense. And as the first usage tells us that for actions expected to be completed by a certain time in future. Now in this tense, we have to give a future time reference also, and that time reference can be given with the help of these phrases like by then, before, by that time, etc. So let's look at these examples now. By the end of this year. Now this becomes a time reference in future, and it says that by the end of this year, some action will be completed. Now let's see what action will be completed. He will have completed his research. So this becomes the action and this becomes the time reference. Now if you must have observed while making the tense, what all have we used here? Will is the modal auxiliary verb, have because we are using perfect tense, and completed because with have we always use the V3 form of the verb. Come to the next example. Before you reach his house. Now before you reach becomes the time reference in future. He will have left for work. Will have left becomes the tense that we are using here. Now left is the V3 form of leave. So this line says that before you reach his house, he will have already left. Now this tense is also used for expressing speaker's belief that something has taken place. Okay, in sense like you will have heard about this superstition, which means if a speaker believes that some action must have taken place, here the time reference may not be given in this particular case. He can use or make a sentence like this. Well, that's all in this session, a very short session on this tense. There's nothing much to look into this tense. The only fact that you have to remember here is that give an end time before which an action in future should be completed. And the other thing that you have to remember here is the format of this tense, which is just like any other perfect tense. All the best to all of you. See you in my next video with yet another complicated tense, future perfect continuous. See you again and goodbye.